Hey, it's your boy Easy, and on today's episode of Easy Opens, we're going to be taking a look at Super7's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimate Slash figure. Rawr. Did he go rawr? I mean, he looks like he would, but I don't remember. Oh well. Alright, some quick facts about Slash. Slash has had many iterations throughout the TMNT's history. This one in particular is based on the evil turtle from Dimension X, released by Playmates Toys as part of their basic assortment of TMNT figures back in 1990. Birthplace is Universe number 9 in Dimension X, and their favorite food is anything but pizza. Now, the Super 7 boxes are cool, but my favorite thing is that on the back they have the blurb from the original toy that was released in 1990. However, this version is a little truncated, so let's get this figure free from its plastic prison and see what we think about Slash. So this figure looks and feels fantastic. He's chonky, and his paint kind of has this wet look to it, which is awesome. I absolutely love it. This figure looks like how I remember the original one looking in my mind. Obviously, it's different, but you know how your mind plays tricks on you and usually makes things better than what you remember them, or exaggerates how cool things were or how bad they were. And this is the figure that I remember playing with, even though I know that it's obviously not, because, well, this one just came out not too long ago. The detail here is awesome, especially the skin and the shell. There's just so much there that it's just amazing. They totally nailed the head sculpts here, and the color contrast is absolutely eye-catching. The paint on mine is fantastic, and the more I look at this character, the more things I see as far as detail and sculpt. Like, I didn't notice that there were like little, I guess you'd call them like scales on the inside under the spikes on his shell, like on the bottom half. And that's awesome. I never noticed that until right now as I'm reviewing this figure. The chest looks to be made of a different material, and honestly, the mix of those two materials really helps to make the figure pop and come alive a lot more. Now, one thing I will mention is that this figure, having done a lot of NECA reviews, this figure feels more like an action figure, if that makes any sense. Like, it feels like I'm holding, I don't want to say toy in a derogatory sense, but there's something more toyetic, I guess, about this as opposed to a NECA figure for some reason. And that could be totally just me, and it's not a bad thing by any means, but it's a neat sensation, I guess, as a toy collector reviewer kind of thing. I don't know, that could also be because it's based on the actual physical toy that was released back in the day, and that could be my brain just associating. I don't know. Your mileage may vary, but nevertheless, thought it was something neat to mention. Now let's talk about the absolute ridiculous amount of accessories that this figure comes with. Slash comes with 8 interchangeable hands, 2 interchangeable heads, 1 snarling and 1 grinning, 3 throwing stars, 2 grenades, a nunchuck, a mace, a bent sai, a bent sword, a knife, and then he also comes with most of that in a different color on a weapons rack that's like an homage to the original figure's release. All right, let's take a look and see what kind of articulation you're going to get out of this Slash figure. So starting with the head, he can look up a pretty good distance, and he can look down really not that much. It's kind of just his default look. He's got 360 at the neck, but it does get hindered by the bandana getting into the shell. Let's see. So now his shoulder joint can potentially get 360, but again, it gets caught up on the spikes on the shell, but nevertheless, that's there, and it can go out about that far. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got a single jointed elbow, And he's got a really cool thing on the wrist that I didn't know of, and I haven't seen this in a bit, but the I don't know exactly what this is called, but it's the joint. The way I think of it is he can hold his sword aloft like He-Man can, essentially. And yeah, it's kind of like an up and down hinge, I guess, instead of a side, like an in and out or side to side hinge. It's more up and down for him to be able to hold like weapons and stuff, which is really cool. And one of those things you don't think you need until you've got it, and then you're like, oh snap, that's awesome. There's no, that I could discern, articulation in the chest region at all or the waist. He's just a pretty solid figure, if I'm not mistaken. His legs can go out a decent distance. He can kick back, not very far because the shell kind of hinders it, but he's got single jointed knees from what I can tell, but he's got a swivel at the knee as well, the lower part, which is awesome. And then he's got ankle rockers down at the ankle. And there you go. That is the articulation you're going to get out of this Slash figure. Some more vital Slash statistics from the back of the Playmates card. Slash stands at about 6 foot tall from spike to spur and weighs around 200 pounds with a heavy attitude problem. However, this figure stands at around 6 inches tall and weighs about 11 ounces. Alright, well now let's see how he compares to some other figures you might have in your collection. Here they are with NECA's Return to New York 4-pack Leonardo and SH Figuarts Ryu. Here they are with Super7's Donatello and Super7's Metalhead. Here they are with Jazzwares Peely and Storm Collectibles Sub-Zero. Here they are with Hasbro's Blue Centurion and the NECA knockoff Comic Raphael. Here they are with Marvel Legends Wolverine and NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1987 animated series April O'Neil 2.0. Here they are with Jada Toys' Fei Long figure and McFarlane's Shao Kahn. Here they are with NECA's TMNT Comic Shredder and SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Rogue. Here they are with Figma's Link and NECA's TMNT 87 animated series Michelangelo. Here they are with McFarlane's Killer Shark and Killer Croc. Here they are with NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtles in Time arcade Slash figure. Here they are with NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Archie Adventures comics Slash figure. And here they are with NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1987 animated series Slash figure. I have a lot of fond memories collecting the 80s and 90s Playmates action figures of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and one of the most prominent was how awesome Slash was, especially because that was a different take than what I had seen up to that point, which mostly was just the animated series. And years later, I would discover the Archie version, but this version was awesome. And I mean, he did everything that the Turtles did, except he was just darker and just a little dash of evil. And now Super7 has taken that version of Slash, reimagined him for the modern standards of adult collectible action figures. And not only that, but to great effect. This figure looks and feels great. And their take on this version of the character, I gotta be honest, really challenges my current standing number one, which is the Archie version of Slash. I still love that figure, but this figure, if it's not a tie, it's an extremely close second. Now, I love the color contrast on this character so much, but I love to think about like the rationale behind his outfit choices, ignoring the fact that they were probably made by a corporate meeting to say that the figure needs to be more toyetic, so you make it different from the Turtles as well, and that way moms and dads who are buying these things aren't just going to be like, I'm not going to buy another different colored turtle. Like, so it has some rationale in that, I'm sure, but I like to think that the character chose these colors and was like, you know, so if I'm thinking in that regard, I get the black bandana on the wrist and elbows and knees and all that, but the pink, like, I love it. But was he like, okay, so I've got this pink belt and I painted a backwards S on it to let people know that, you know, I'm too cool for school. And then I can see him just having some pink tape or cloth around for like hand wraps. And then I can see him finding some pink spikes for the knees. And all of that is like rational. Like, I get it. Like, I that makes a little bit of sense. It's not a leap for me. The problem is, where did he get the pink wood and rope for the shoulders? That's my big gripe. Well, it's not even a gripe. I'm just impressed. Also, does he paint his finger and toenails, or are they naturally that color? And or does he do it to match his spikes that are also naturally that color, or did he paint them as well? And to that point, why is one eye yellow? Like, is that by choice, or is that just how he was made? I have so many questions. But all that aside, the only issue I really have with this figure are the legs. That tends to be an issue with a lot of Super7's figures, at least in the Turtles line. And surprisingly, mine aren't that bad. They aren't great, but they're not as bad as like Metalhead and stuff like that, or Donatello. And they're loose like a little bit like the others are, but I also think they could have been a little bit thicker in the thighs, and that would have just looked a little bit better, I would think. Just a little bit. Because the way they are, it doesn't look bad, but I just feel like it needs to be a little bit thicker in the thighs to kind of make it, like, without a doubt in my head. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. And then the other trouble I had, and this is a minor nitpick, is that I could not get all the stars, all the throwing stars on the belt. Like, that was an exercise in futility for me. But all that aside, this figure looks, again, like how I imagined the toy did back in the day, even though I know that it's different. But, like, in my mind, like, this is the thing I was playing with. And not only that, he goes really well with the Super7 figures and some of the NECA figures, which is really cool. So if you're a Slash fan, you're absolutely going to dig this figure. If you're looking for another formidable baddie for your Turtles, you can't go wrong here at all. Or if you just want to have a physical manifestation of a toy that you played with as a child, but like how you imagined it back then being as cool as what you thought it was. Or if you just want another badass turtle on your shelf, then you can't go wrong with Super7 Slash. Alright, well, that's going to do it for me today. Thanks so much for watching, and if you liked what you saw, hit that like button. And if you want to see more from me, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well. And please hit me up in the comments. Let's talk about Slash. Which one's your favorite version? What did you like? What did you hate? Did I get anything loud and wrong in this review? Please let me know. I want to talk Slash. So hit me up in the comments. And if you want to hear me talk more about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, be sure to check out Turtle Soup Podcast, Turtle Soup Show, one of the two, on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. My friend Ryan and I talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at the very least once a month for a very long time. And yeah, if that's your thing, be sure to check us out. And until then, Elsetime.